A few years ago, I started talking to a guy. We had a mutual friend who introduced us. Within 4 months, we were dating. He was a very loving, caring, and got me cute little gifts. I'm telling you all of this because it was very hard to doubt a man like that. I found comfort in him. And when that kind of love hits you at a young age, it's dangerous most of the time. Anyway, the problem was, whenever we met, he never had his phone with him. He had excuses each time, but it didn't bother me much because, as I said, he never gave me a reason to think he would cheat on me. A little while into the relationship, we had a problem with my male friends. All of my social media presence started to bother him. Again, I was in love, so I cut off a lot of my friends. I deleted a lot of my socials and did not want to make him feel unpleased. I would always try to make him happy, but at the end of it, it would always be something to fight about. After a few months, he started to ghost me, and it hurt. It felt like a sudden drug withdrawal. I demanded to see his phone at that point, and there were multiple chats with other girls. One particular girl was even dating him. Now, when I tell you that I was devastated, I really was. I was physically ill. I couldn't leave my bed without support. He asked for a chance to explain himself, and I gave it to him. He told me that the messages weren't sent by him, but his friends. Apparently, his friends had access to his social media accounts, and that they were just having a little fun. It made zero sense. The girl was literally reacting to his stories, sent him very long and romantic messages on his birthday. I wanted to think this through, but I couldn't. He got his friends involved, and they all told me I didn't love my boyfriend because they were all confessing everything and that he was innocent, but I still didn't believe him. Even though he was innocent, this was a big deal. I had gone through all of his messages, and he was still telling her everything about himself. The places he went, the things he did. I told him I needed some time apart to think about it, but he threatened me that he will kill himself if I did not forgive him. I was scared, and all his friends reassured me to forgive him, so I did. We were back together. Now that the drama was over, I had a lot of time to think. If I would ask him any questions, he would simply say he didn't know. How do you not know? He started to get irritated whenever I tried to bring up the topic. He would act like nothing had happened, and we were a happy couple since the beginning. All he had to say was, "I have promised to never hurt you again, which I will keep. I have no explanations for whatever happened in the past, but I can assure you that I will never talk to the girl again." It was a stupid mistake, which I wasn't a part of. I realize you feel hurt, but it makes me feel terrible when you try to accuse me of something I did not do. There was never a logical discussion, only emotional manipulation. The only thing he would tell me is that I need to trust him. He did not need to discuss it further, and that he swears upon his life that he is innocent. Day by day, I began to feel bitter. I started to give him the same attitude he used to give me. I controlled all of his social media, and I would throw tantrums about every single thing. I started to treat him the way he had treated me in the past. It hurt being like that, but a part of me felt very satisfied seeing him so miserable. I would tell him to his face that I hated him and that I was still with him because I wanted revenge and not because I was worried that he would hurt himself. This was not true, but I liked to look on his face when I said it. I would threaten to break up with him whenever we got into huge fights. This continued for months before I realized how messed up it was. I started to have emotional outbursts in real life, anger outbursts, anxiety, breakdowns, and panic attacks. My whole personality had changed. A part of me was not ready to let go just yet, so I continued to make his life hell. One day he told me he was tired and that he couldn't do it anymore. He told me that he realized his mistake and that I have punished him enough. He told me that he loved me but didn't know how to make me believe him. He was crying. Was he admitted that he had cheated on me? Did he really mean what he said? I didn't know how to feel anymore. I couldn't realize if this was real or fake. That night, I had a very severe panic attack and stayed at the hospital for the rest of the night. I couldn't sleep. I had made my whole life about this revenge. I had terrible grades and literally no friends. I didn't want to do this anymore. I spent the next days thinking about how everything and everyone was affected by this relationship. I couldn't spend the rest of my life like this, miserable, no hobbies, no friends, or anything. So I decided that it was finally time to let it go and work out my life, which was already in shambles. I apologized and broke up with him. This was months ago. I am not in a position to defend my actions, but all I can say is that I am very sorry for finding peace in someone else's suffering, regardless of what they had done to me. My best friend had betrayed me. I came from a shitty household and I had no real friends. I realized that it was just not about revenge. I used to dump all my frustrations about my life on him. No, I'm not justifying my terrible behavior. I just want to let go of this feeling of guilt. Life has just been very hard and it's just tough to start over with very little amount of things.